Hi guys, my name is Lizzie and this is going to be my first video. So starting off, I am making this video to talk about the Hesi A2 exam and how I studied for it. So I actually had this exam last Saturday, and I ended with a 91% in it. And I mean, which is a pretty decent grade. I talked to the admissions lady at the school that I want to go to, and she said that that is a good score. So I was really happy about that. So anywho, so the test itself is pretty long. It's not that hard. It's just long, and there's a lot of different types of questions on it, and there's a lot of sections which can be daunting, I think. So I'm just going to tell you guys how I studied to get a 91% and just like what methods I used while taking the test to get the score that I got. So starting off, when I registered for the test, there was like a little ad that came up under it for the Hesi Admissions Assessment Exam Review. And it's just this little book. It has all the sections in it that you can possibly take. My school required that we take reading, grammar, vocab, math, and A&P. So, oh, and we had to do like a critical thinking section. I believe that there's also a biology, physics, and chemistry section that you can take, but my school only required those 5, which I was happy about because I suck at physics. And if we had to take that, I would have gotten a 0% on the test because I'm so bad at physics. So I got this Hesi Assessment Review, and I picked it up at Barnes & Noble, and it was about $44. So it was kind of expensive for this little thin thing, and yeah, it's the 4th edition, but let me tell you, if you are taking the Hesi A2 exam, you should get this book because it has everything you need to know in it. Like the A&P section, let me find it. So it literally has everything in it, like everything that would be on the test in it. Some of the things on the test are not like main topics, like you have to actually like know it and really study this booklet, because if you really study, you're gonna do decently on each section. And another thing about this booklet is, let me find one. So they have these little blurbs. They're like in little orange boxes. They're called Hesi hints. And they're really helpful. They explain things pretty, like commonly confused things or commonly unknown things, I guess. They explain them super, super well. And then also on the test when I was taking it, there were a couple questions that were actually just a couple Hesi hints. So I thought that that was super beneficial. And since the distributors of the test make this book, I think that it makes it a lot, like they have the information that is going to be on the test in it. So that was good. And then for like math and everything, they have a ton of practice problems, and it's all basic math. Like there were a lot of fractions and a lot of ratios. And I had a couple where we had to convert metric into or American into metric, which wasn't too bad. Like I think it was just like milliliters, and then we had one for kilograms to pounds to kilograms. So I mean, it wasn't hard. It was just a couple of those questions. Secondly, another study tool I used were these McGraw-Hill textbooks or practice books. So this one is for more tests, so like it includes the T's, so I thought that was really helpful. But what I used the most was the Hesi one. So this one's just for the Hesi, and it has a ton of practice problems. So, and it covers every single section as well. So I used this just to get more practice problems, and I think it helped out a lot. I think some of the problems in here were actually harder than some of the problems on the test. So it really prepared you, because the practice tests that you were taking were harder than the real thing, which I think was helpful, I guess. And then another thing that I really, really liked about this book, okay, so for this one, it like lists the answers and everything, and also next to the answers, it like says why the answer is what it is, which I think is super helpful because for the questions in this one, the Hesi one, it just tells you the answer, it doesn't tell you why. So yeah, I used those 3 study tools, and then I also reviewed my A&P 1 and 2 notes. I'm a sophomore and I took anatomy first and second semester freshman year. So I just wanted to review that to make sure everything was good and I wasn't going to fail. So yeah, so altogether my cumulative score was a 91. The advisor at the school that I am applying to said that that is a competitive score and that is a good score and it's a score that would get accepted into the school. For the most part, unless like everyone else got a 100 and then I got a 91 and I don't get in. And for my school, to even be considered for the for the school that I'm applying to, it's not my current school. To even be considered for the program, you have to get an 80%. I know for a lot of schools it's 75, but for mine it's 80. So anyway, now I'm going to tell you the order and everything that I took the tests. So, starting off, I was the most nervous for grammar and A&P because I don't know why, I just always mix grammar things up, so I started off with the grammar section just to get it out of the way while my brain was still fresh and I had the whole test time ready. I just wanted to start off with what I was the worst at while my brain was less tired. So I started with grammar and I completed it. It was pretty easy. I got an 84%. And the next thing I took was A&P. While I know A&P, there's just so much that it's hard to know everything. And I was super concerned that there were going to be things on the test that I didn't 100% know. But luckily, it wasn't that bad. So I took the test. There were 30 questions in this section compared to the 55 that are in every other section. So I took this test, but I ended with an 86. And I was like, okay, like that's satisfactory. So next I moved on to math because math is what I am best at. And I know like if I take my time and pace myself and really look at the problem and solve the problem, I'm able to do really well in math. So I knew that once my harder tests were done, I could move on to math and it wouldn't necessarily be a break for my brain, but I wouldn't have to think as much as I would have in like anatomy. So I took the math section, so I finished it and I actually got a 100% in that test. So yeah, it was that one I was pleased with, I guess. So then I decided that I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna move on, do something and get up and move my body because if I'm sitting for too long, I just get really antsy and I'm unable to concentrate. So I decided to get up, go to the bathroom, just walk around a little bit to get my blood flowing again and get a drink and then come back. And then I came back about 5 minutes later to continue on with my testing. So after that, I decided to take reading. And reading was not hard at all. It was just kind of long. It takes a long time because you have to read the passages and analyze them and then answer the questions about the passages. So then I have 4 out of the way and I had 2 left. So, and yeah, so vocab, sorry, my camera went off. Classic. So for for the vocab section, it's essentially like a dictionary, and so there's, I mean, like every word you could possibly be tested on in this book is in the vocab section, which is super nice. I just like did definitions and stuff. Now, with that being said, I only got a 92 on the vocab section. I thought I did well, but I guess I got some wrong, which it's whatever. When I didn't say what I got on the reading, I got a 94 on the reading. So altogether that was about, like, it was a 91 point something, I think. But yeah. So then lastly, we had to take the critical thinking section for my school, and that was, I mean, pretty easy. It was just, like, all answers are correct, which one's the most correct answer. It wasn't hard, it was, you just answered the questions, and it didn't count on your final score. One thing that I really, really liked about the Hesi was that you are able to So you start on a home screen and then you're able to pick what tests you want to do first, which I really, really, really like. And I thought that was super beneficial in taking the test, and one of the reasons that I did as well as I did. Another thing that I really liked was the fact that you were able to get up and go, like, you were able to, like, get up and go to the bathroom during the test, and, like, you didn't have to stay in your seat for the 5 hours that you're allotted to test. You're able to move at your own pace. So you're given 5 hours to take, I guess we had 6 sections. You're given 5 hours to take 6 sections, and then you leave. And you get your scores right away, which is also really nice, so you know how you did that day. Like, you finish your test and you know how you did. So that was really nice. One thing that I did not like about the test is that you cannot, once you submit an answer, you can't go back. Even if you know you got it wrong, like, once you've moved on, you've moved on. And you're not allowed to, like, go back to a previous question or a section at that. So, yeah, I thought the Hesi test was, all in all, as long as you study, you will do well. If you're trying to become a nurse, it's all stuff that you have learned in pre-nursing, and you will do well on this test. All right. Well, thank you for watching my first video. I hope this helped, and I hope I gave you guys some good tips on taking the Hesi exam. Yeah. See you later.